All right, we are just moving out of that and shifting focus to another breaking update we are getting from the state of Karnataka. What is being said as the former Chief Minister BS Yediyurappa will be taking part in the Savarkar Rath Yatra today. And this is around the Mysuru region where this event is being organized. Ample security that has been deployed to ensure that no concerns pertaining to law and order happened. So this seems to be like a direct challenge that has now been given to those who have been opposing Savarkar and also to the Congress party as well. But the pictures that we'll be getting shortly, especially when it comes to BS Yediyurappa, top leader from the BJP and also a former chief minister there. Now he will be, what is being said, will be taking and will be participating in the Savarkar Rath Yatra, and that will be happening around the Mysuru region. Now, ever since the Independence Day celebrations, we have been witnessing sporadic incidents, especially when it comes to certain clashes and violence that has also been reported in different parts of Karnataka, whether be it in Shimoga, in Chikmagaluru, in Tumkuru, and even in Mangaluru, and in Vijayapura, where there are pictures that are coming in of how there are certain groups and activists who have been putting up posters of Veer Savarkar. There has been a staunch opposition to that as well that has been taking place in the state of Karnataka, but putting a message across, and this is coming from the BJP side as the top BJP leader and a strongman from the Lingayat community when it comes to BS Yediyurappa, the former chief minister. He participating in the Rath Yatra will be giving out a strong message to the opposition. Let's listen in.
ಅನಗತ್ಯವಾಗಿ ನಾನು ಕೊಡಗು ಹೋಗ್ತೇನೆ, ಪಾದಯಾತ್ರೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ. ಒಬ್ಬ ವಿರೋಧ ಪಕ್ಷದ ನಾಯಕರಾಗಿ ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಯಾರು ಮೊಟ್ಟೆ ಎಸೆದ ನಾನು ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ನವನು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಯಾರೇ ಎಸೆಲಿ ತಪ್ಪು, ಅದು ಬೇರೆ ವಿಷಯ. ಆದರೆ ಇವರು ಅದನ್ನೇ ಒಂದು ನೆಪ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ನಾನು ಪಾದಯಾತ್ರೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ, ಕೊಡಗು ಹೋಗ್ತೇನೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಗೊಂದಲ ಉಂಟಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆಗುವಂಥ ಎಲ್ಲ ಗೊಂದಲಗಳಿಗೆ ಸಿದ್ದರಾಮಯ್ಯನವರೇ ಕಾರಣಕರ್ತರಾಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಈಗಲಾದರೂ ಗೌರವಯುತವಾಗಿ ಇಂಥ ಎಲ್ಲ ಗೊಂದಲ ನಿರ್ಮಾಣವಂಥ ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನು ಕೈ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಶಾಂತ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸಹಕರಿಸಬೇಕು. ಯಾರು ತಪ್ಪು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ನಾವು ಕ್ರಮ ತಗೊಳ್ತೇವೆ ಅಂತ. ಇಷ್ಟಾದರೂ ಸಹ ವಿರೋಧ ಪಕ್ಷ ನಾಯಕರಿಗೆ ಹಠ ಮಾಡಿ ಕೊಡಗು ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಕೊಡಗಿನ ಜನನು ಲಕ್ಷಾಂತರ ಜನ ಸೇರ್ತಾರೆ, ಗೊಂದಲಕ್ಕೆ ಅವಕಾಶ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಏನೇ ಗೊಂದಲ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಿದ್ದರಾಮಯ್ಯನವರೇ ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರ ಆಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಇನ್ನಾದರೂ ಇಂಥ ಹಠವನ್ನು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಗೌರವಯುತವಾಗಿ ನಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಒತ್ತಾಯ ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ.
Let me go across to Deepak now. So Deepak, when it comes to a yatra that will be convened by Siddaramaiah, because he was witness with a lot of protests and there were certain attacks that happened on his cavalcade as well. This is BS Yediyurappa who will be attempting to participate in the Savarkar Rath Yatra. What exactly is happening there as far as politics playing out?
Well, over the Savarkar issues, we've seen, for multiple days now, a lot of politics playing out. We saw Mr. Siddaramaiah fume after what happened in Kodagu while he was there to visit rain-affected areas. Multiple protests taking place, black flags being waved at him, Savarkar photos being held up while his convoy was passing, one even being thrown into his car. After that, of course, eggs being pelted at him. He was fuming after that. He had announced that he's going to carry out a, padayatra to Gherao, the SP's office, and he plans to go ahead with it. Now, meanwhile, in Kodagu, we've just got some information that already prohibitory orders are going to be issued. It's going to start from the night of 24th and it's going to extend till 27th. So we'll have to see how the district administration really reacts if there are Congress workers who plan to carry out this padayatra. More importantly, even during on the same day on the 26th, there's also a big convention being planned by the BJP is also what we are picking up in Kodagu. So there's a lot of developments happening. Meanwhile, BS Yediyurappa, who's taking part in Savarkar Rath Yatra himself, who says that it's important to highlight the sacrifices made and the contribution to the freedom struggle by Savarkar, and that's the reason he's carrying out this Rath Yatra in the Mysuru region. He hits out at the former chief minister, going on to say that the leader of the opposition should behave responsibly at this point in time, especially going into Kodagu, which is a sensitive area where if he carries out this Padayatra, things could go out of hand and he will be solely responsible is what he says. So it's very interesting the kind of statements that's already come in over this. We'll have to see whether Mr. Siddaramaiah will actually go ahead with this particular Padayatra and how the BJP and the entire district administration really reacts to this.
No, but the messaging behind the Savarkar Rath Yatra that is being planned by the BJP and including BS Yediyurappa there, what exactly is he trying to give out that message? Because Deepak, several of those incidents that have been reported ever since Independence Day celebrations, exactly what is the messaging being given by BS Yediyurappa?
Well, Mr. Yediyurappa has been maintaining that, he's going to be touring different parts of the state.
All right,
This is
Deepak,
going to
interrupting
be-
you. Apologies there. Mr. S. Prakash of the BJP is with us. Mr. S. Prakash, when it comes to Kodagu violence, Siddaramaiah has been blaming it and calling it state-sponsored. He will be also going to the same area, sir. But when it comes to BS Yediyurappa participating in a Savarkar Rath Yatra in the Mysuru region, sir, what exactly is the message that BJP is trying to give out here?
No, even when Siddaramaiah visited Kodagu, there was no violence. There was black. Throwing somebody threw one egg towards his convoy. Nothing other than that happened. There was no violence. Violence happened during Siddaramaiah chief ministership when he observed Tipu Jayanti in Kodagu. There was violence. One person was killed then. It did not happen now. And what Mr. Yediyurappa is advising Siddaramaiah is don't try to create disturbances by repeatedly instigating the people, visiting Kodagu, holding protest against the Kodagu people. It is going to create a lot of problems. As a statesman, as a senior leader of the state, he has only advised Siddaramaiah to avoid going to Kodagu.
No, sir, but several of those leaders from the BJP were taken into custody. They were detained because Siddaramaiah has been calling it as a state-sponsored attack. Eggs were hurled at his cavalcade, sir. You're calling it was non-violent?
It is an exaggerated description of the event. Any political leader is faced with some protest and some black flag demonstration. If Siddaramaiah cannot stand such a minimum protest in a democracy, he should take retirement from politics.
What about eggs being thrown at his car?
Yes, was thrown by a congressman. He has confessed to it. And the party should take action against that person. Including Chief Minister, have deplored the action. And they have all been arrested. And they were sent to jail also. Now they have taken bail from the court and they are freed. And in no way we are concerned about it. We are only concerned about only the protest against Siddaramaiah. We take responsibility. And it was not violent protest. It's just a protest.
So you're calling it as a natural outpouring of anger against Siddaramaiah and the Congress leaders?
It definitely it is. His attitudes towards Tipu and his attitude towards Veer Savarkar has angered the people on the ground. And he should understand, he should not hurt the sentiments of the people. He may have a different agenda. Let him speak about the development activities of Karnataka. If there is any failure in the state, let him raise it. He is free to do so. Why abuse a freedom fighter and create disturbances in Karnataka? It is Congress party squarely responsible for today's situation in Karnataka.
All right. Mr. Prakash, thank you very much for joining in. Well, Deepak, you heard the BJP point of view there saying that it was a natural outpouring of anguish there taking place and squarely blaming it on the Congress, what really happened there. But they are also making an appeal to Siddaramaiah to call off that Madhikari protest.
Yes, but, as far as the Congress is concerned, sources tell us that he definitely wants to go ahead with it because, the entire series of events that took place while he was in Kodagu came as a big, embarrassment on one hand, and also somewhere, there was a lacuna in terms of how the situation could have been handled. We saw the Chief Minister himself come out that evening and condemn, the sort of protest that took place there. He did mention that if there is difference of opinion in terms of ideology or opinions, it should be expressed in words and not, through physical action. And we saw a lot of physical action, including pelting of eggs, the Savarkar posters being thrown into his car, getting so close to his convoy. And, several questions were raised about what were the police doing, whether there was an intelligence failure with regard to protests taking a turn like this. So, while the Chief Minister and several ministers, in fact, condemned
All right, Deepak, we'll just come back to you in just a bit.